start the show. Hello everybody, my name is Kat Bine, and this is my show Cat Calls that I do every Thursday here on twitch.tv/KATBEIN. That is my name, don't wear it out. I am poorly lit today, but that is okay. We're still here bringing you a fabulous show. I need everyone to go ahead and give me a big round of applause for today's guest, repping for the Big Apple. Everyone, big round of applause for Proper Villains. Yes. I'm very excited for this one. I have actually seen Proper Villains' name around for more than a decade. Proper Villains is no noob to the scene, always been dropping consistently fun and funky tunes, but this is actually my first time getting to chat with Proper Villains. I'm very excited about it. We had a little bit of an icebreaker practice call about an hour and a half ago, and the energy was just flowing. I can tell that he's a really fun-loving character. He doesn't take himself too seriously, and I think the conversation is going to be really easy. Of course, I'm very excited to chat with him about the work he's been doing over quarantine. Quarantine was easy for nobody, but it did bring something very special to the table for Proper Villains. He got together with Cakes to Killa, a rapper out of New York City, and they created this wonderful series of EPs called the Muvaland with a V, okay, Muva. The first one came out in November of 2020, and their styles just merged together so perfectly. It's really got this classic, vintage, jacked up house vibe. They made a bunch of really fun music videos together, and in July last month, they dropped, oh, hello, Alex English. Good to see you. In July, they dropped part 2 of the Muvaland series. I'm hopeful that that means there's even more coming, and I'm hopeful that that means that they will share a stage together. Maybe they already have. I'm not in New York City. I'm still a little bit too scared to go to clubs, but I know that Proper Villains has been playing clubs, so I'm excited to see how that's been going. Before I bring Proper Villains on the show, I want to play for you a real banger from the first volume of Muvaland. It's called Don Dada, and if it doesn't make you feel like a bad bitch, then you might need to go see a doctor, okay? Because this beat is illin', the video is sickening, and when we come back, we will have Proper Villains on the line. Don't go anywhere.
With the boom, all these scallywags and drags want the loot. Recognize the Don Dada when you hear one in the booth.
And we are live with Proper Villains. Hello, Proper Villains.
Hello, hello.
We were just having a very lively conversation about proper pants and how great it is to not have to wear them when you're doing a Twitch stream such as this. So imagine for yourself what we're wearing.
Yeah, I'm wearing a kilt.
Ooh, and of course, everyone always has to ask, what's under your kilt? And then you say, put your hand up there and find out. I don't know, that's what my uncle says.
Yeah.
No. Okay, we did not come here to just talk about pants, although you were telling me off screen that military green is the color of fall 2021. So you've all been put on notice.
I'm not an influencer, I just noticed this one. Like, I shop on the internet, so I see a lot of pants. And there's a lot of military green.
Is that what the algorithm is sending you? It's sending you pants?
We could have a whole, 4-hour conversation on the algorithm, but for some reason, Instagram has just decided that I need to own a t-shirt that makes me look jack and hide my beer belly. I don't have a beer belly, but it seems to me, but according to Instagram, I need to hide it now.
Well, I mean, please, you should, if anything Instagram does right, it's make you feel bad about yourself as a person.
Yeah.
So.
and I'm a terrible person. I caved and I bought one of those t-shirts, and they're amazing. They're really cheap and they fit really well.
Oh my God! Plug! Whose t-shirts are these?
I think it was Fresh Clean Tees or something, and they're great. They fit. My girlfriend was like, "Wow, what's that new t-shirt?" It's the Instagram one that they were pounding for days with these ads.
Amazing. I will let you take a sip of your beverage there and say that I finally LaCroix brought to you by.
By LaCroix. I'm still trying to get a LaCroix sponsorship. It's unhealthy at this point.
If you could, I would be eternally jealous. I have a friend who made this incredible Halloween costume 4 or 5 years ago when LaCroix was really, like, right before it became the hippest drink to drink. And she, like, cut up a bunch of LaCroix cans and turned them into a bra and, like, flare-out skirt. It's very hard to explain, but it was absolutely incredible, and that didn't get her sponsorship, so good luck.
Yeah, it's worth a shot. A buddy of mine who's a DJ, he got an Arizona Iced Tea tattoo, and he got a huge sponsor. Like, they sent him like a pallet of Arizona and like all this Arizona Iced Tea.
That's amazing. Your buddy's not Young Lean, right? No, I'm just kidding. Your buddy's not Young Lean. Well, that's all you have to do. You have to get a tattoo. Just make it real. Show them that it's real.
But I've never gotten a tattoo. I don't know if I want to start with before.
Me neither. You know what?
Yeah.
You're smart. Don't start there. Because
I feel like I just missed the boat. Like, you have to get one, like a terrible tattoo when you're like 17, 18, and it just kind of like breaks the seal. But like at 42, it's like I'm going to spend, like, if I got a tattoo, I'd spend a year deciding what to get, and then whatever it is, I paint it.
It's true. That's why they have so many of these. Speaking of algorithms, I'm starting to get ads for like the tattoo that only lasts 9 months because you can't commit to anything in this world. It's just like,
but why don't you just use a Sharpie?
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Remember
exactly.
gel pens? Come on, everybody. We can do this ourselves.
Remember when henna was?
Henna, yeah. You know,
henna,
the ancient classic henna. Just go ahead and just appropriate that.
Like just a henna face tattoo, just like a little like ice cream done on my cheese. Just for a week, just to see what like the dude at the bodega would think of that.
Yes. Okay, back. Let's reel it in a little bit. I like this. I like that you have the kind of energy that we could just bullshit for an hour. I really appreciate that. It's going to make this very easy. But we were just watching the Don Dada video. I feel like even just saying it, though, like, I sound lame. I have to be like, Don Dada. Like, I have to say it the way that it's sung. But what a wonderful piece of musical cinema that was. I just want a round of applause for you and the squad. It gave me these great 70s New York City vibes. Like, Midnight Cowboy is what I think of when I think of 70s movies. That has nothing to do with this video. But how was it? How was it working on this? You weren't in the video yourself. Were you there during the filming?
I stopped by and I did a cameo, and it never made it in because it was like 4 billion degrees and I was melting, and they were just like, we're not going to put you like just like melting on the pavement in this video. And I was like, okay.
That seems fair. You didn't make the cut of your own music video, but we stand. but I came and I helped carry like the those little like background things. I carried one of the stands up through Cakes' apartment there. So there you go. Yeah. You did all the heavy lifting, one might say.
Yeah, I literally did the heavy lifting. Yeah.
Well, I thought it was a wonderful video, and the energy of that song is fantastic, and I definitely want to pick your brain about Motherland as a series in general, but this being our first time really getting to chat together, I also just want to get to know you, Proper Villains, a little bit better than I do now. Are you a born and raised New York City individual? I think you lived in LA for a while, but like, what's your story? Where do you come from?
All right, I've never lived in LA. I visited LA.
You haven't? You have some very old bio on the internet that says you were in LA.
All right, there's like 5 different Proper Villains who all put out like one single or one EP.
Oh my god!
Just disappeared off the face of the earth and just totally screwed up like my Google ability.
That's terrible!
Yeah, but those guys I know who you're talking about, they're called Android Cartel now, and they're all right. They
get a pass. Okay.
Yeah, at some point I had to hit them up and be like, hey, can you switch our viewpoints over? And they're like, yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. You have to go around killing all of the other Proper Villains. You have to become the most proper of the villains.
I mean, if I get to use a broadsword, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's your weapon of choice.
Yeah, well, like Highlander style. There could be only.
Exactly. I did notice that there was a band called the Proper Villains, like a full-on band that kept coming up too when I was looking for music videos.
Yeah, so those guys, can I curse on here?
Absolutely.
Those motherfuckers. So they stole for their Facebook, my old Facebook banner, and I had to message them and be like, dude, like, what the hell? Like, fine, like it's the Proper Villains, but like don't take like my artwork. Like,
Yeah, that is messed up.
Yeah.
What? Well, fuck
So-
them. We hate those.
Yeah.
We hate those Proper Villains.
Yeah, they're in like Tallahassee or something. And the next time I play Tallahassee, I gotta like go over there like Thursday and just like kick them in the
That's crazy. I actually went to school in Tallahassee for a bit. I have
really?
partied in the Tallahassee myself. Have you spent much time there? Florida is so we're our own fabulous.
I played a couple of gigs there. It was interesting. When I went there, they described it as, I think it was Southern Alabama.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
It seems like very Southern though. Like it's not. It's
Yes.
like Miami where it's got like like all the willow trees and stuff. And like I love Country Kitchen Buffet, so like I got to think of it.
Amazing. Okay, wait, hold on. I'm getting excited. You mentioned Country Chicken Cafe. I'm not.
Country Kitchen Buffet.
I'm not a very good. I'm from South Florida, which of course makes me not a Southerner. We like to say in South Florida that South Florida is the only place you have to go north to go south, geographically
Yeah,
speaking.
that makes sense. Yeah, but I do remember. I'm pretty sure it was Tallahassee. They had a record store, and it was this really cool, tasteful, like obscure metal and jazz like record store. But they had a dollar bin, and they had like every I-95 record, like every Luke record, like every Two Live Crew record. And I just spent like $20 and got like the whole like collection. It was so awesome.
Amazing! I heard that you have quite a vast record collection. True? Big vinyl head?
It used to be It used to be like not cool. Like where it's like because now I pared it down, and now I only have about 4 or 5 shelves. And now like people come over and they're like, oh cool, you have like a vinyl collection. But before it was like it was like High Fidelity, John Cusack, and it was like, dude, like what are you telling me?
Where's the line? There's a line between like, oh, this is really cool. Like, he's really into music. He's got taste, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, you're a psychopath. Like, you have to be on the show hoarders.
I think it's multiple walls. Like, it's just one corner of one wall now. And it used to just be like wrap around.
Can you DJ vinyl? Is that why you had so many vinyl? Or you just...
Yeah. I mean, that was the thing. It was like I was I went to NYU and I started DJing, and it was like there was no CDs, there was no like USBs. You just like you want a song to play, you had to go buy the record.
Let's circle this back to my original question. Are you born and raised in New York City?
Okay, so I was born in the city, but then I was born in like I'll put my age out there so that I look great. So I was born in '79, and
you do look great.
I do, right?
You fucking do.
Yeah, Keely's in baby's blood. Yeah,
that adrenochrome, you gotta have it.
Gotta have the adrenochrome. And the
fuck, I'll take whatever you're selling.
Yeah, but so I was born on the Lower East Side, and me and my parents lived down there. And then if you kind of remember like the early 80s New York City, they were like, we were getting the hell out of here. So I moved out to Long Island, and then spent like elementary school, middle school, high school there. And then the minute I turned 18, I was like, I have to get the hell out of here back to the city, and just like moved back to the city and never went back to Long Island. Except for like holidays and stuff.
Well, I, being a person who's not from New York City, don't understand the nuances of how Long Island is not the city. I mean, I look at it on a map, and I drove there once, and I was like, oh yeah, this is far, and it seems very suburban. Yeah. But like, to me, it sounds like you spent your whole life in New York City.
Pretty much. I mean, I did the math. I've lived in New York longer than I've lived in Long Island.
Yeah. But that's how I know you're a local, because you're like, well, I lived in Long Island for a while, and that doesn't count.
And then it gets so weird into like what's Queens and what's Long Island, because Queens and parts of Brooklyn are on Long Island. So like the difference between Long Island and Queens is like basically Red Lobster. Like if you go on Northern Boulevard, like there's a Red Lobster, and on like one side the phones are 212, and then it's like 718, and then on the other side they're 516.
Wow, that's where you if you're at Red Lobster, you know where you're at.
Yeah. It might not be a Red Lobster there anymore. I'm not sure. But it was always like something like a Long John Silver's or Red
Lobster.
So funny. Like, those places roll over, but it was always just really like suspicious fish.
Yes, suspicious fish. That's how you know you've gone too far from the source.
Yeah.
Incredible. Well, I'm not surprised to hear that you are a New York native because I feel that I can sense that in the music. Like, there's a lot of attitude. There's a lot of this kind of understanding and paying homage to the roots of kind of this culture.
Yeah.
How did you stumble upon club culture? Is it something that your parents were into back in the day? Not at all. Not at all. Your parents are suspicious fish.
No, let me see. So it was odd. So like I would say like early teen years, I was like super into heavy metal, like Pantera, and then from that like industrial metal, like Nine Inch Nails.
Yes,
and,
yes.
and like all that stuff. And then I just kind of like got more and more into electronic stuff. And then like I don't know, like hip hop, I've always just listened. Like I don't know, like people are like, someone always asks me like, "Are you a hip hop fan?" And I'm like. You get Hot 87 is the only decent radio station that comes out to Long Island, so it's like there's no choice. Like,
yeah.
You listen to the radio, like, you're just going to listen to Hot 97. Like,
right, of course.
Yeah, it's like asking a fish, like, do you like water? I'm like, I never really thought about
yeah.
it. You know, like, you just listen to rap music.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So so your first club experience, though, I want to hear how you were alerted. Were you a kid who was sneaking into places? I mean, the New York scene is very legendary, but was it cool to grow up amidst that, or did you just kind of find it later?
I didn't make it out to clubs until I was about 18. I think my first club was Twilo.
Twilo. What's that?
It was like this legendary club over on like 47th Street now. I think it's a strip club.
Perfect. Even more legendary, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, but it was where Sasha Diggy used to play, although I never saw them.
Nice.
I went on like they would have like Thursday or Friday night. They would do raves there. So I went to a rave there and I saw it continue.
Fuck yes, raves, classic. Now, are we talking like late 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s?
Like probably like mid to late 90s, like probably 97, 98.
That sounds like a wonderful time to be out at a rave. That's like pre-rave act, or is it already getting shut down?
It was probably like 2 years before Giuliani did the cabaret laws. So I mean, like it's one of those things where I feel bad being like, you guys just don't understand how great it was. It was really that fucking great. Like,
yeah!
It was so crazy. Like, it was just nuts. And then from there, I think I went to, like, Concrete Jungle at the Wetlands, like, Limelight a bunch of times, which was just, like, bananas. And then, like, random raves on Long Island.
Yeah.
Like, Stuck on Earth. I went to a rave, it was, like, the Vanderbilt, which was, like, this rock club, and they just rented it out and just utterly destroyed it. Like, it was just like 1,000 rolling teenagers just putting out cigarette butts on like a carpet. Like, it was just terrible. Like we were awful human beings.
Amazing.
We just destroyed this legendary rock venue. It was super fun.
Talk to me about what was different then. Like, I can understand and relate to the feeling of being an old person who's like, it was better in my time. But like, what would be something that you would see or experience out at one of these parties that you just don't see anymore?
I mean, like, all right, first of all, like, there was no phones. Like, you had beepers, and, like, that was it. So, like, to even find, like, a rave, like, you had to, like, someone would hand you this, like, 3-page glossy flyer, and you'd have to call a number, and then, like some person would have, like, an info line. You'd call the info line, and they'd tell you, like, where the party was. And then you had to hunt for it. Like, there was no, like GPS on your phone. Like, making it, like, half the time you didn't even make it to the party. Like, you couldn't find it. Like, you just turned around. Like, because you have to drive, like, the ass into Long Island, or like, you go to the city or whatever.
Oh, my God.
And, like, you wouldn't even be able to find the damn party. You just give up and end up doing something else, you know?
I never thought about. I've always loved that clandestine feel of like those types of raves, like flyer raves, like call for location or whatever. But I never, I never stopped to think about how many times people just didn't make it.
Yeah, or like people would get lost, and I remember like I went to some upstate rave, like maybe like late 90s, early 2000s, and like you couldn't find it, and I think we just like pulled over to the side of the road, just like party, like, and then everyone got lost in the same way, and 20 or 30 people just dancing around like a car stereo.
That's incredible. And because there are no phones, you're not concerned with like, oh, someone's gonna post a photo of me faced tomorrow, so or
Yeah.
now.
Oh, and everyone dressed awful. Like we were just like it was like so stupid. Like we just dressed like total idiots. Like
What was the color pants?
I mean, it was like oversized blue jeans, and like like if you look at the old photos of like kickwear and what was it? Kickwear and like Jenko and stuff, like all the models look great. You look so dumb in those pants.
Yeah,
Like, no one actually looks good in real life with those pants.
It's true. I remember the fat pants days. Although I think it's funny that like there's all this talk that Gen Z wants to bring baggy clothes back, and I'm like, if you're not ready to rock Jinkos with a wallet chain, then I don't know if you're really ready for this life.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not bad at the retro like cycle.
No,
Like
of
that
course
whole-
not. Yeah.
Like I mean, like remember like the metal T-shirt thing like 3 years ago? Like that made me so happy. I was like, oh my god, like people used to make fun of me for wearing this in high school, and now I can just like pull this out of the closet and just wear like my old metal T-shirt and a pair of jeans and just a flannel shirt and just be like styling. Like this is my own thing.
It's your time.
Yeah, like I went on Facebook and it was just like 4 or 5 people I've ever was like, you know?
Yeah. I always was ahead of the crowd, you know.
Yeah, like 20 years ahead of the crowd. Like who knows? Yeah.
Incredible. What of your vinyl collection that you still own would you say are some of your most prized possessions? Do you have some really great vintage pieces, some old dance music stuff? What was worth keeping in the purge?
Let me see. I kept most of the old jungle stuff. Like,
Nice. Being from
Yeah,
South
I
Florida,
mean-
I appreciate that you said that.
yeah, no, it was weird. Like I went from like industrial metal. There was like a short 4-way and a gabber. And then I got into jungle and drum bass. And so I got rid of like a lot of the mid 2000s drum bass because it didn't it didn't age well. But like all the early stuff, I got a copy of Ghostly #1, the one with Mike Peter and Miss Goodie,
Wow.
which I actually got a rip because I can't find it anywhere.
Damn.
It's really good. Yeah, and just like a lot of random stuff, like a lot of like bit of 60s soul, some like old rap records. What else? Like pretty sizable house and techno collection.
Well, it's fun now knowing that you have these like vinyl mixing roots. It makes it even more fun when you joke about like, okay, hey, I showed up at a place and I hit play on a fucking sync button today.
No, I remember my first gig was like doing like I guess what you call open format, but it was basically like they were like play rap records, which basically means like play rap records, play a bit of pop, play a bit of dance hall.
Yeah.
And I grabbed and this is probably like not even to like 2004, 2005. No, maybe 2006, 2005. It was a very long time ago. In a land far away.
You still look like this, but yeah.
Yeah, I still look like this. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. And I had to play from 10 to 4, so I brought like 4 crates of vinyl in a backpack. You know?
How? You had a car. Oh, you had a cab.
No, in a cab.
Oh my
And then,
god.
yeah, and then at the end of the night, I had to find a cab. And they had that switchover at 4:15, so I didn't get out fast enough at 4 a.m. And I just had to wait there for half an hour for like one cab to take like Mercy.
Oh
on
my
me.
god.
Yeah.
You've earned these stripes. I know, that's what I think is
Yeah.
funny. Like, I have a really good friend who's trying to learn how to DJ right now, and
Yeah.
he's really dedicated to this idea that, like, he has to learn how to mix on vinyl because it's just, like, more cool, more authentic, more real, or whatever. And I'm like, all the DJs that I know who have done both
Yeah.
are like, fuck that shit. Just use the USB and, like, save yourself a bunch of fucking trouble.
Like my back can't take it.
Yeah, it's like you can still do this because the technology gods took mercy and said, oh, no, sweetie, it's okay. You can just take this little thing in your pocket and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, I mean, like, if I have people over, like, you know, like, sometimes I'll have some friends over, or, like, my girlfriend some friends over, like, and they're like, DJ, and I'm like, oh, cool, I'll bust out records, and be like, oh, cool, check out all these, like, old records and stuff, but, like, to take them out of my apartment, like, no, no.
Okay.
And then
Well, no, what were you going to say?
Oh, and some of them were worth like that Disco D record's worth a fortune. Like I'm
Yeah.
not gonna take that out to a club and just have someone like whoops, I spilled a White Claw on it. Like,
Oh,
no,
God.
you know?
This is how it ends, covered in White Claw, sticky
Yeah.
at 3 a.m. Speaking of impressing your friends, I heard that you are a mad chef.
I'm okay.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
okay?
I would say I'm a good cook. I mean, no, because a friend of mine, I know a couple of professional chefs, and so it's like one of those things where it's like, oh, you know, like, oh, you're pretty good at basketball, but it's like, oh, but I hang out with Michael Jordan. It's like, oh, I'm not that really
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you're actually quite good, but when you're surrounding yourself with professionals, you're like, I don't know.
So
I'll stick
people
to
are-
music.
People are always like, are you gonna open like a restaurant? I'm like, no, I don't want this to be like work. I already turned one of my passions into a job. That's funny.
I know that is the double-edged sword there when the thing that you love doing becomes your job. But how did you pick up?
Yeah.
How did you pick up cooking? Where did this come from?
One, I needed to eat, and I live
Fair.
in a town where like takeout's super expensive. And also, like, I not anymore, but I used to get huge insomnia because I watched Good Eats on like cable television at like 3 o'clock in the morning and just learned it all from watching Good Eats. Alton Brown's food.
And you learned osmosis. You just started fucking around.
Yeah, and like like there's like so much stuff on the like. I mean, I taught most of my music production stuff just from, like watching stuff on the internet. So I just like watch cooking videos and like
Yeah.
read a couple of cookbooks, you know.
What's the most impressive thing that you've made? I mean, in quarantine, was this like something that you leaned into? Like people were learning how to make bread and do all this nonsense, and you're like, "Fuck it, what else do I have to do?"
Yeah, but no, because everything like like I work from home, so it just started turning into like Old Boy or whatever, and like it would just be like, all right, I've got to do something tonight. So it'd be like, let me cook dinner, and then it was like, let me like bake, and like I even did all the things, like you made the like the what is it like the foamy coffee.
Oh right, I remember that was trending. Yeah,
Yeah, that was did the foamy coffee. Like I have a wheat allergy, so I bought all the stuff for gluten-free bread, and then I was like, well, let me try sourdough, and then I did, and then it was like, oh cool, if I want to do this again, I could keep this weird jar of glue alive in my fridge, and I just like gave up on that. And
I know. I was talking to my boyfriend the other night about how there is like now we've reached that moment where I think you can have nostalgia for the first couple months of quarantine because while it was harrowing and terrible and like ruined a bunch of people's lives. We all were doing the same thing at the same time. Like everyone watched Tiger King at the same time. Like everyone thought they were going to learn to grow green onions from the leftovers in their cups. Like it became this weird like national sleepover separately.
Yeah.
And that's unique.
Yeah, I mean, when I started going out after the quarantine, I thought everyone was going to be hard to talk to, but it was really like, what TV did you watch? And it was like, oh, I just like talked about like TV and movies and music and shit, and like, yeah, we all just like sat around for a year just like inhaling pop culture.
I know, which is I'm not mad at, but I do think it's good that we're not living in a terror bubble anymore. Although questionable, there's still plenty of terror in the streets. But you've been back at it. How has it been to reemerge into the world and to get back on stages and see people?
It's fun. I mean, I love it. I like people. You know. I mean, there was that one weekend where like before I started DJing, like that first weekend when they opened everything up, I just went out like 3 days ago. Like it was just like, oh my god, people and everyone else was still in their shell, and we're just like, why is John so happy? It's just like I'm just happy to be there.
I love that. Yeah, I did have a one really proper night out on the town. And I went all the fucking way in, and I was up till like 8 in the morning partying, and then the next day I literally thought I was gonna die. And I was like, oh right, I should pace myself, I guess. Like, I did get a year older while I was inside. Like that happened to me. But you made some sort of magic out of the madness, and the Motherland, I believe this was a quarantine project. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It was a quarantine project.
Incredible. how did you meet Cakes Tequila? Is this really your first time? Like, was this a quarantine connection, or you met previously
I've known him for years.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But
No, we originally met through Contessa Studo, his roommate, who was a promoter and like a rapper artist. And I did her debut single. Well, she had booked me for one of her parties at Fingerbox, and then I got this random like Twitter DM like, "Hey, like you make beats," and I was like, "Yes." I mean, how could you not tell by my Twitter of like
right
production shit that's been going on for years? And I'm like, "Well, what do you want to do?" She's like, "I want to rap." I'm like, "Okay." She's like, "I want to do like Lords of Acid meets Korn," and I was like, "Yes, I do."
Yeah, you're like you've reached out to the right maniac, like absolutely.
Yeah, so I looked up Slayer and then I recorded her and I helped her write some of the lyrics and stuff. Like, actually, I helped her write the book. And then, like, I just kind of recorded her, and then, like, she shot a music video, and I was like, cool, she's a rapper.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Did you, I mean, that's interesting that they just knew to come to you, though. I love that you give off the vibe of, like, yeah, let me make Lords of Acid Korn beats for you. Hit me up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess, I don't think I'm a weird person, but I guess I am. Like, I don't know, like... I find everything weird. I find normal weird, so I guess it just goes with that.
Same. Wait, before I forget, I heard that you also make music for films and other little projects. That's sort of like, but it's. I can't tell if I moonlight doing that or I'm moonlighting doing this. But, which one is the real job?
I do like commercial music for TV commercials, and then I do like music for like music libraries. And I just did an audio gig where I was doing like audio editing for a video spot.
Amazing. Okay, I was just listening. Okay, so tell me about the music that you make for audio library stuff. What kind of? Are you the one who's making all the nondescript tropical house music that is in Instagram ads? Because I was just talking about this today.
I passed on that. I know that dude. Nice guy.
Wait, it's one guy?
No, it's not one guy.
Oh my god! Okay, amazing.
Yeah, no, like a friend of mine hooked me up with this company, and then basically they do these albums, and then they go on like a website, and then like people who are looking licensed music will just go through the album and pick stuff they like, and then they just send you a check.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, so like,
I mean, I'm familiar because I obviously, trying to put stuff on YouTube. Myself, like the whole first year I was doing this, I picked some like copyright-free little Jim Jam that I was like, I love this.
Yeah, so no, and it's cool because like I'm kind of like ADD with my production, so they would just be, and I just have like this weird thing where I'll try anything just because I think it's funny. Okay,
shout out some I've tried anythings for me. What are some of the weirdest off the wall concepts that you've thrown out into the world?
Like I did electro swing.
Oh yeah, I remember when that was popping for like 6 months. Poppin'. That was everything.
I did like 3 of those. I did a reggaeton album. I'm actually working on a second one right now.
Fuck yeah!
It's really good. Let me see. I've done some like trailer music. I did grime. Like what else? Like a lot of like random hip hop beats.
Yeah.
At some point, I just gave them like a bunch of hip hop beats that like rappers would pass on. It was like cute. It was like take this and turn this into money, and they did. It was awesome.
Incredible.
I'd have to go look through just a couple albums of just like straight pop.
Yeah.
Which was really fun. Which was cool because it was like, oh cool, like I can learn how to do pop production and like my name isn't on this, like I don't have to worry about like anything like that.
That's what I was just thinking. I'm like, it has to just be such a freeing, liberating thing to just like fuck around. Like you don't have to give a single fuck. You're just like, I'm gonna make whatever the hell weird thing is coming to my mind and I get to.
Yeah. And it's also just like it takes the pressure off. You're like, oh, like this doesn't have to be like my next single that's going to be this thing that represents me. Like it just has to be a thing that lives on like a website somewhere, and like hopefully someone will use it like an Instagram ad or like in like. I think they send me statements like I was on like I got featured on like Say Yes to the Dress Atlanta like a bunch of times. They want like one of my beats.
Dude, they love you.
Yeah. And I've never even seen that show. I think I tried to download it to find the song. And like,
that's so awesome. Wait, what is your friend's company called? You said it's your friend's company that like does the
no. It's all a friend of mine. A friend of mine did some stuff with his old band with him.
Oh, okay,
It's
okay, okay.
Alibi Music.
Alibi Me. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that I've
Yeah.
pulled stuff from there too.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. If any of you out there want to like search my government name, go find that on Google. I'm not telling you, but like, you can go see all like the weird things.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sift through your library music catalog. I mean, library music in the 70s and 80s, apparently, I learned
Was
is
so
the
good.
shit. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
legitimately a very cool subgenre of music to get lost in. Kind of like became the backbone of so many hip hop beats later. So you never know.
If you check out, I think it's like KPM on Spotify. They have them all up there. And it's like all these like crazy, like they'll have like an Indian album or just like a weird like electronic sci-fi like loopy album, like weird jazz and stuff.
I do legitimately absolutely love the hold music song that's like do 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 do. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's got the boo boo ba doo boo boo ba doo doo. I can sing it.
I have this like Google Doc of like terrible ideas that I have to manifest, and remixing that into a technical song is like on my list.
Please do that so that I can live my fantasy of dancing to that somewhere.
Yeah.
Like I was at a DJ. I went to this like outdoor venue here in Miami last Friday or whenever the fuck it was, and the DJ just started playing like all the hits, just like old 90s Eurodance favorites and like
Yeah.
the fucking NSYNC and whatever. He just like went for it, and then at the end he played Dire Dire Docks from Mario 64, and I lost my entire shit. I just like was screaming. So I'm all for that sort of novelty
Yeah.
drop. Like
I did that with like I think what was I did what was that first Lil Nas X song?
oh, the Old Town Road.
Yeah. Like I made a really awful tech house remix and just gave it to 3 of my friends. I'm like, here, we're just gonna play this once and then just never speak of it.
Oh, I never speak of it again. Yeah, amazing.
And I played it in North Carolina and it crushed.
Yeah, you need to play it in Southern Alabama next time you play
Yeah, Southern
Tallahassee.
Alabama.
After you kill that band, you need to play your Old Town Road remix and smash. Okay,
Yeah.
long crazy tangent. That was really fun though, but I do want to
Okay.
hear about the Motherland series and how this all came
Okay.
together.
Let me see. Okay, so picking up from that conversation with Greg. So at some point, like Contessa was like, "Oh yeah, you heard my roommate Cakes," and I was like, "Oh wait, I've heard of him. Like you should bring him to the studio." So he came to the studio. And it's like, "Hey, what's up?" And like he gave me a couple beats, and like just ended up like getting a song on like his out. I think I did like the final track on his first, not his mixtape, his first like album, and then we did like I think 1 or 2 singles after that. And then that was all like just kind of hip hop stuff.
Yeah.
And then I had been bothering him to do house music for like, I mean, because I do like mainly house music.
Yeah.
And I was like, you should do a house song. And he's like, yeah, sure.
And
then
honestly,
he
like,
did.
way to be right though, because holy
Yeah.
shit, like energy on a fucking house track, like.
Oh yeah.
So did you, over quarantine, did you work together on this? Were you able to actually be in the studio together? Were you guys potted up? Like, how did it start?
Well, I was like, come by, because like I don't like sending people beats because it's like you get this weird thing of like you send somebody 10 beats, it's like, well, they just have your beats now, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
and it's like if you give to somebody else, they're just like, and they record, and you're like, what the hell? I gave you these beats. But you're like, yeah, but you like never hit me back. Like rappers never hit me back. So it's like, oh, you just committed to like not giving that music to anybody else for like 3 months. So I'm always just like, yo, I'm always like, come over, I'll make snacks and just like listen to stuff.
There you go. Lure them with your
Yeah.
chef skills.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so he came over and we went through like 50 beats and we hit them all. And then the last thing, I read it. My girlfriend just. But that says hi. Yeah, and so the last thing I played him was I just made like a Todd Terry album like the night before. It was literally like made like Todd Terry experiment. It was like 30 seconds. And he was like, oh, that's amazing. And I was like, oh, this would have been so easy, much easier if I had led with that 45 minutes ago.
Right? Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's good that Cakes' ears weren't totally blasted, that, you know, he was even listening to anything. Like, I feel like after 50 beats, I'd be like...
Yeah.
But I guess that's why I'm not, you know, A professional musician.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, and then it was like, so yeah, we did
And that was
like,
that Don Dada?
Yeah,
It was, yeah.
that was Don Dada. Yeah,
Great way to start. I would follow up with that too if I made that song.
Yeah.
What would you say is the spirit of Motherland? What I love that it's not over. Did you make all these songs kind of in one go and then you broke it up into two pieces, or is this something that is a continuing story? Are we perhaps going to get more Motherlands?
I mean, it was two goes. We did the first EP. We did the first. The first EP happened like really quick. Like it was spread out over a month because he came by the first time I think like 3 weeks into the lockdown, and then it was like, yeah, I'm ready to record whatever. And then I think I had to go out of town for some reason or other. And then it was just like, oh no, it was that point where like you didn't know what was up with COVID. It was just like, oh, I don't know if it takes over. I don't know if it's over there, whatever.
I know.
Yeah. So I kept just making more beats like that, setting to them, and then finally it was like, okay. I went and got a COVID test. You went and got a COVID test. Come over and record. I mean, just record like the whole thing in like I think an afternoon or two.
Really? That must have been some afternoon.
I think ICU we had to we did that one separate. That was the last one, and then he was like, "You need one more." And I was like, "Okay, I'll do ICU." And then we had to wait for no. But I think start to finish maybe 6 weeks, but I think the whole thing came together.
I'm laughing because it only just now in this context of talking about COVID quarantine and everything, that I see you as a track name has so much more weight to it than I was just like, oh, I see you, thank you. And I'm like, oh fuck. It was like the thick of COVID. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you remember specifically about that afternoon? I can't believe that you did it all in one afternoon because I can only imagine were you just bouncing off of the walls, the two of you? It feels so high energy to listen to have been there.
I mean, it's weird when I record stuff. I don't know if it's good or not.
That's fair.
And do it. So I was just like, he just recorded it, and then he's like a big White Claw drinker in the studio. So
can't bring him to the record collection then.
Yeah. So I remember it was about a 4 White Claw session, and he started to get really into it around the 4th White Claw. So I was like, I remember the last one was Motherland, and it's like he might have been a little too drunk for that one.
Oh.
But then it worked out. But then I put all the effects on, and I was like, oh no, what's that?
Honestly, I believe that. You know how many great records throughout history, especially in 70s rock era or the funk, there's no way people weren't just way too fucked up on a recording and they're just well, now it's a classic. So.
Now it's a classic, yeah.
And Volume 2 is a kind of, you made that post lockdown reopening. I heard that it's a little more inspired by life coming back.
About 3 months before lockdown, it was like, hey, we should maybe do this again. Yeah. It was okay, and then and then for most of those, I wrote the beats and I had a go over. I'm just I'm making these beats. Just it would be stuff where it'd be sending to me he'd be like, that's cute, and I'm like that's cute. You like that?
Yeah, I'm not sure how to take that.
Or even it's just it'd be I hate this. Okay, cool, but why do you hate this?
Right. Be constructive with your criticism. Come on.
Yeah. So he would just come over and I'd be like, okay, do you like these drums? Okay, cool. Do you like this bass line? Okay. Do you like this little stabbing? You don't like this little stuff. All right, we use a different stabbing notes. And then we just kind of did that way. I mean, even a couple of them, the interlude on Motherland 1, he just did that a cappella, and then I put the beat in afterwards. Nice. And then for light work, we just looped a drum beat, and then I was just cool, I'm just gonna make a song with this.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it was kind of a freestyle.
That's cool. I feel the two of you together it's making some magic. I hope that you continue exploring this avenue. Have you been able to perform any of these songs together? Is that a dream or a hope or a plan?
Not yet. We're going to do the first one. Oh, we did them on live stream, but I think I said the account. Yeah. I think the first time is we're opening for Swizzy Mac and Hawaii in September. It's just gonna be super fun.
Fun!
Yeah. But yeah, we're gonna play those together at Witch.
Oh, well, I eagerly anticipate news of that opportunity. That sounds really fun. And you recently got a remix from DJ Dion, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome. It was like legendary. It was really cool. Like, when we were talking to the Ishi Day people, they were like, "Who do you want for remixes?" I was like, "Who do you want?" They were like, "DJ Dion." I was like, yes." Yeah.
I like that they like asked you who you wanted. That's pretty sweet. I mean, I don't know how it usually works, so
Yeah.
I guess maybe you usually get to pick who touches your song, or maybe not. I don't know.
I mean, with them, they were just like, "Hey, like, who do you like?" Like, I was like, "Who do you have in mind?" And they're like, "DJ Dion." I was like, "Yeah." And then that ICU remix, that was just sort of like, Classic was just sort of like, oh yeah, Eats Everything did like a remix.
That's
like,
sick too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of it, so I was just like, cool, can I have that? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, thank you.
That's crazy. That just happened on its own. Magical.
Yeah. And then there's mine's coming, and then I did like a warehouse techno remix. What's the word? That's coming out this tomorrow. I gotta listen to it. There's so many like remixes flying around that I gotta put together.
Well,
and then after that,
continue. Lay it all out.
And then next week is the Wax remix.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, okay. So very, very, very stacked remix.
Yes, exactly.
Hit all the bases and all the vibes.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like too, when you are in your position and you're a producer, like, you make a song and you probably lose track of whenever the hell it's coming out, because it's like, you've moved on to the next one, somebody else is handling the rollout if you're lucky, and like, I don't know. Are you already living in the future? Like, what are you working on now?
I'm working on, I'm finishing up a dancehall album for...
Right, you said that!
Yeah.
Are you doing that with another artist, or you're doing that for yourself?
That's for, so me and Metric Man, we had a group called Fire Alarm very briefly a couple of years ago.
Great name.
Thank you, Nick Catchdubs.
Hey, amazing.
And we put out one EP on Jillionaire's label, and then never really got it off the ground. And so we have just like 6 or 7 years of him coming over every like month or two of his recording. And so I was like, you need to put it out now, dude. Like, let's just go through all these and like pick this like 8 or 9 best ones, and I'll just like finish. So like I'm just about done with it.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. You're so lucky that you get to just do so many different things. It must not be boring.
I mean, that's just most of my life. It's just me trying out people.
Yeah, that's fair. So far, so good. Well,
I've got a couple. Then I've got a couple more collaborative EPs that I can't like. I shouldn't say if we haven't actually recorded anything yet. It doesn't actually.
True.
I do have a single I'm working on with this vocalist Therese, who's really, really good. He's based in LA, and I've got to finish that, and then we'll probably put it. There's a lot of just random music.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that. That seems to be a theme.
Yeah.
I believe that. Well, we're coming up on about an hour, but I have truly enjoyed this journey through inanity and silliness with you.
Thank you.
I know that you just gave us like the really great list of all the things that you're working on, things that are coming, but are there any final thoughts that you want to share with the world while you are here with me?
If you have not gotten vaccinated, please get vaccinated. For your own health and my career.
Yes.
Register to vote and vote in your local elections.
Right. I heard that you got more involved in local elections this year. You were motivated finally to get up there and vote for and I mean, shout out your old governor. I guess you don't have that governor anymore.
Yeah, it's a process. But I would say, like politically I'm on the left of the spectrum, and like I've been reading about stuff, and like the crazy evangelical people, like they've been doing this for 10 years, and that's why they run everything.
It's true.
Like,
yeah.
you know, like, oh, cool, parks director's up. Let's get one of our people in there, and it just builds and builds. And
Yeah.
You got to do the same thing to kind of even it out. You know?
Yeah, I do. Wise words.
Thank you.
When we leave, we're going to watch one more incredible music video from you, which also came out in 2020, right? Vacation? Is it 2020,
It did. Yes, it
2021? This is a banger. This is not with Cakes to Killa. This is with Nasty Nigel. What can you tell us
Yeah.
about Vacation? First of all, it's brilliant. I love
you.
the whole vibe. But what can you tell us about this track?
Let's see. Nigel is no longer Nasty Nigel. He's now Nigel 3 times.
Yes.
He produces drum and bass now, and he's awesome. Check him out on Bandcamp.
Yes.
I'm actually he is like the nicest, most coolest person I know. You know those people you just meet, you're just like, how are you this cool?
Yeah.
And we did 2 songs together, and this was the second one. The first one was Raver, which came out a couple of years ago. And he just comes over, and I'm like, what do you want to do? He's the opposite of Cakes, where I'll just be like, cool, like, let me play you a beat. And he's just like, cool, that one. I'm like, wait, but there's 50 more, dude. He's like, no, that one's cool, like, it's fine. And he just like, and he just sits there, and like half an hour later, he's like, okay, I got an idea. And he just like recorded it, and then it was like, done.
I love that. I feel like, you know, it sounds to me like you live in this like wonderful playhouse of production and good times. I don't know if that's the truth, but I'm glad that you're able to still have your friends come by and create weird musical little doodads. It sounds like you're having a lot of fun over there. And you've got all this wonderful art behind you. Shout out your art gallery girlfriend. He's pretty cool. Well,
if you're looking for art, Loomis Gallery, just call them. They do great stuff. Limited edition prints.
what is the name?
Loomis, Lumas.
Loomis. I'm on it. Loomis Gallery. Shout out. We love to see it. All right, John, Proper Villains. It was awesome getting to know you today. I really had a good time chatting with you.
Thank you.
I will come accost you someday in a club. If I ever see you playing in the city that I'm in, I will just be like, it's me.
Please do. Oh, and guys, Labor Day weekend next week.
Yes.
Next weekend, Brooklyn Beer Garden. Me and all the homies. We're doing a big beer garden thing. It's free. It's during the day and the night, so just come by. I guess if you're not in Miami or if you're in the city, come.
Yeah.
And, anyone on Twitch, please come through.
Yay! That sounds wonderful. Have fun. I want to do that. have a beer for me.
I will do that.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I'll see you soon.
Thank
I
you.
hope. Bye.